Thank you, everyone. Thank you, TIE 20, for allowing us to present today. My name is Amin Rahman, and I'm with the company Invisi-Tag. A little bit about Invisi-Tag. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the current inventory tracking process. We believe in challenging the status quo. And the status quo is that service contractors lose up to 10% of their equipment assets annually. We do not accept these circumstances. We're here to challenge that. And we're here to give that 10% back to our customers. So as Invisi-Tag being problem solvers, we first had to see what the problem is. And the problem is that businesses are asking, how can you improve productivity in their business? And the answer is accountability. Service contractors, the biggest investment they have is their assets. Their ongoing investment is with the growth of their company, and it's what generates them revenue. It's also the highest liability in their business. So they want accountability, but they have a few concerns. What technological solution will best fit my business? Do I have to create the solution internally? Who will support these new solutions? And do I have to hire new staff? With Invisi-Tag, you don't have to do any of that. Invisi-Tag is the solution. It eliminates all concerns. What we do is we bring the amazing benefits of RFID technology at a low cost-effective price for businesses. It's literally an out-of-the-box solution for their service contract industry. So how does Invisi-Tag works? We're using RFID technology. As you look to the screen here, you place an RFID tag on every single piece of equipment, and our handheld reader detects hundreds of pieces of equipment in a matter of seconds up to 40 feet away. And instead of your traditional barcoding, scan one item at a time, our reader detects hundreds of assets in a matter of seconds. We then send the information into Invisi-Tag smartphone app. It's a basic electronic checklist. Contractor loads up his truck, points the reader inside. If it detects it, the item in the list will turn green. And if it's not there, the item remains red, letting them know what they're missing, what they're leaving behind. We can detect, say, an example of 50 pieces of equipment in 5 seconds. So basically, it's an electronic checklist. Red means missing, green means there, yellow means an item is there, but it doesn't belong there, to reduce any internal theft that's happening within the company. So once every report is generated, saves as an Excel spreadsheet, which then syncs up to the cloud. The business owners can log in, see all their enterprise cloud reporting from anywhere. This is an example of what a cloud report looks like, and also gives the owners some cost analysis information. So the report won't just tell you what asset is missing, but how much in dollar amount did this employee just cost you. So now you can use the reports as performance reviews to hold it against the employees. So how to get started? Invisi-Tag has a starter kit, which provides everything you need, such as the reader, a tablet, the software, starter kit of tags, and it's anywhere between $3,500 to $4,000. Typical RFID solutions cost a custom solution anywhere between $20,000 all the way up to $80,000 to $100,000. So Invisi-Tag is in a couple different verticals. We're in the landscape commercial contracting industry. We have 4 of the top 100 companies, landscape companies in the U.S. using us today: Yellowstone Group, Bemis Landscape, High-Tech Landscape, and Bio Landscape. We're also in the restoration market, where we have ServPro Service Master. We're actually a national preferred vendor to ServPro. They have 1,700 franchises across the country. And recently, 2 years ago, there was the largest loss in history right here in Michigan, GM Tech Center. ServPro did the job, and they used our solution to keep track of all 4,000 pieces of equipment across that water mitigation job. We have carpet cleaning companies in that vertical. Modernistic here in Michigan is the largest carpet cleaning company, and they're our customer. And we recently came into the medical industry as well. We brought on our first medical company earlier this year. UHS is using our solution to keep track of hospital beds in hospitals, and we have a pilot in a hospital in Texas. And then we have a distributor called Market Lab out of Grand Rapids to resell our solution to hospitals through North America. A couple of other industries that use our solution. We have integrated partners that we work with, so our solution and information goes back and forth between their software. We believe we can scale our solution through their distribution channels and work with the franchise and corporate level. So just to make sure I can make it in my time. So we're here to challenge the status quo. Our solution is guaranteed to give them back that 10% return of their equipment, because it's not just the equipment loss, but the labor time that it reduces heavily. So our products, we believe, will be in the hands of businesses everywhere. Thank you.
Good morning. So I'm Bipin Agarwal, CEO and founder of DZee Solutions. We are the first company in America which can predict people's healthcare expenses over their lifetime. That includes their premium, out-of-pocket, supplemental plan costs, Medicare costs, long-term care costs. There are 155 million employees who buy their insurance through their employers. There are 500,000 brokers and financial advisors who potentially can use our system. So the way we solve the problem, we came out with the algorithm, which a machine learning algorithm is patented. That machine learning algorithm processes all the claim data, which is available through Medicare, all the third-party data, all the private claim data, and answers the questions like, what healthcare plan is good for me? What supplemental plan is good for me? How much I should be contributing into my HSA account? What is my long-term care expenses? And what financial products are good for me, whether it's the annuity or the index universal life or simple brokerage account. The way we are monetizing this, we are focusing on two different market segments. One is healthcare, and the second is financial. In the healthcare market segments, we go after the benefit platforms. People call it HRO. A typical HRO or the benefit platform will have 100,000 plus employee on their platform. We also focus through the healthcare brokers. The brokers who are selling the healthcare plan to the employers, or the TPAs, the third-party administrators, as well as the benefit design consulting firms. In the financial services industry, we focus on the financial advisors. The financial advisors, when they are doing the retirement planning, right now they are not able to account for healthcare expenses, and they use our solution to account for the healthcare expenses, which could be a pretty significant part of your healthcare expenses. We're also working with some of the large financial institutions where they are designing the product so that you can meet your healthcare expenses. So where we are right now, from a business perspective, we have signed up one client, which is benefit enrollment client. They have 100,000 employees on their platform. They expect to double in the next 2 years. They'll be using our system. We also signed a very large financial advisory platform. They have 50,000 advisors on their platform. They'll be launching our product in January 2017. We have several pilots going on with very, very large insurance companies. So how would that translate into the financials? We think we'll do about $2 million in revenue next year. We should grow very, very rapidly. In 5 years, we expect to grow to about $57 million. And our business model is very simple. We do 1/3 in the operation cost, 1/3 in EBITDA, and 1/3 in the sales and marketing cost. And it's a SaaS solution. We're right now raising money. We're raising about $750,000 in common stock. Our key goal with this raise is to be break-even in 2017 fourth quarter. So far, we have been self-funded, and we have raised some money from friends and family round. As they say that any idea is as good as the team which can execute on it. Myself and Larry Tianing, who is one of our advisors, we started a company in 1993. We took it public in 7 years. In Colorado, it was a very, very successful venture. Since then, I've been an investor. I've invested in several companies. We sold one company last year for $30 million to a private equity group. So all of our team has 30 plus years of experience. So we have built a very formidable team in order to make sure that we can execute on our vision. So how investors will benefit. If you look at some of the acquisition which has happened in the cloud space, from a comp perspective, the Fidelity and the Northwestern, they acquired company at a 6.6 multiple of revenue. That's based on that multiple, we should give about 40 times return to our investors. However, we think that we should really be compared to Genefit. Those of you who don't know about Genefit, it's a $2.5 billion privately owned company, about 60 million in revenue. We think we are very well positioned to compete head on with them, and we call ourselves as a Genefit killer. So you can imagine what should happen to the investors' returns. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Parmveer Sandhu, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Loadtap. A few years ago, I started my own trucking business. We grew that business from 1 truck to 12 trucks in less than 2 years. As our business grew, so did the number of phone calls we were getting on a daily basis. Our customers, who were freight brokers, would constantly call us asking, "Has your driver been loaded? Where's the location of your driver? Do you have a truck available in Dallas today? How about one in San Francisco tomorrow?" There was no means for our customers, the freight brokers, to get the answers to these questions without having to pick up the phone first. Can someone guess how long or how much time a freight broker spends on a daily basis figuring out where his shipments are? Looks like we got how much? All day, that's pretty good. You're close. The actual answer is half a day. So a freight broker spends half a day trying to figure out where his shipments are. The other half is spent looking for empty trucks to haul his shipments. As a trucking company, we were connected to hundreds of freight brokers. Our freight brokers, they were connected to thousands of trucking companies. So what we thought is, what if we're able to build a network of freight brokers and trucking companies to help automate booking shipments while also gaining visibility on where the location of those shipments are. So, this clicker's not working. There we go. So we built Loadtap, and we're set out to be the LinkedIn of trucking. So first, to connect the freight brokers, hold on, guys. There we go. First, to connect the freight brokers to the trucking companies, we built a product that can allow the freight brokers to track any truck driver's cell phone, but without a use of an app or device. So currently, we're partnered with AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon, and all other Tier 1 and Tier 2 cellular providers, which allows us to track 98% of cell phones. And freight brokers can easily do this by simply just using our application, put in the phone number, and instantly tracking is started as soon as the driver gives permission. On our back end, we're able to collect data on these trucking companies based off the location of these drivers. So we're able to figure out which lanes and routes they prefer. And using machine learning and data science, we're able to do more smart and targeted matching of empty trucks to the shipments that they actually prefer. So currently, there are 1.3 million trucking companies and 77,000 freight brokers that are doing $700 billion in revenue. What we're targeting is 250,000 companies and 58,000 brokers that are doing $203 billion in freight revenue. If you're familiar with the trucking industry, you know that there are a handful of startups out there, Cargomatic, Transfix, Convoy, that are set out to be the Uber of trucking by trying to eliminate the middleman, which are freight brokers. Well, the way we're different is, instead of trying to eliminate the freight brokers, we're trying to work with and help the freight brokers by extending their reach and network of trucking companies from thousands to tens of thousands. We're looking to break even by year 3 and targeting $192 million in revenue by year 5, with revenue coming from both booking freight and also tracking the freight. We're currently bootstrapped. Okay, one second, guys. Anyway, I'll just talk it. We're currently bootstrapped. We have right now 5 freight brokerages that are in our private beta, and we're looking for $560,000 in funding to help us scale up and integrate with more freight brokerage software. We have a great team with experience in both transportation and technology, with backgrounds in Twitter, Apple, TiECon software. And so if this excites you, we want to talk to you. Thank you.
Picture Julie. She's a 45-year-old mother of 3. She gained 20 pounds in her first pregnancy, 30 pounds in the subsequent pregnancies, and years later, she can't seem to shake off that extra weight. She struggled with postpartum depression, and she didn't want to go get help for it because she didn't want to identify herself as somebody who needed that type of help. Her husband bought her a fitness tracker to motivate her, but most days she leaves it at home because she doesn't want to deal with that internal shame of not reaching her goals. Her recent blood test results reveal that she needs to have a conversation with her doctor. She feels stressed, dull, irritable, and anxious. Does anyone know anybody like Julie that you'll admit to? I think we can all relate. Next slide, please. So the market opportunity is huge. The cost of anxiety, depression, and obesity in this country are on the rise. And this is not just for people who are labeled as manic depressives or institutionalized. This is mainstream people. And we spend nearly $500 billion in annual U.S. healthcare expenditures on anxiety, depression, and obesity costs alone. And children are forming a higher and higher percentage of this. Next slide, please. The problem is that most treatments focus on one aspect of the other, the mind or the body. And even the latest fitness trackers tend to be very body focused in terms of the number of steps that you take. But the truth is, we are not just our mind and we are not just our body. We are integrated beings that illuminate from within when everything goes well. We have our body, we have our mind, and we have what I call life force. That life force you may refer to as energy, your soul, your energy inside that illuminates from within. And that goes unnoticed most of the time. Next, please. The Bollyfit difference is that we have always synthesized physical fitness, meditation, nutrition, and social community. We give a complete picture to the user and improve their holistic mind and body wellness. And we've achieved tremendous results around the world. Next, please. Hi, everybody. I'm Anuja Rajendra. I'm the founder and CEO of Bollyfit. I have an engineering degree from the University of Michigan and an MBA from the Ross School of Business at Michigan. I've served on 3 consecutive terms on the Governor's Council for Physical Fitness, Health, and Sports, where I passionately advocate to bring down obesity rates. And since the beginning, Bollyfit has worked to create B2B and B2C programs that integrate ancient East Indian practices with modern science to improve the overall well-being of people around the world. We've partnered with countless organizations and trained athletes, social workers, physicians, and other practitioners around the world to help achieve these results. Next slide, please. Today, I'm really excited to share with you Bollyfit's new digital healthcare platform, where we take all of the indicators of a person's health and happiness, not just the number of steps they take and the glasses of water that they drink in a day, but we combine the abstract elements of mental health, physical health, social connection with nutrition, leveraging ancient East Indian practices with modern science to give an accurate depiction of where that person is in their life and their health and happiness. We give them steps to improve it and connect them with wellness practitioners as well as people in their community to improve those metrics. Next slide, please. Our customers include B2B corporations in the healthcare space, as well as mainstream companies, and individuals like you, me, and Julie, who want to improve our health and happiness. Even a 1% dent in this problem can save billions of dollars in healthcare and related costs annually in the U.S. We plan to launch in the spring of 2017. We are currently conducting test pilots with Mitch Albom's Say Clinic in downtown Detroit, and we're also working with the University of Michigan Neurology Department. And we are creating tools that not only the physicians, medical school students who have increasingly toxic stress can use, but they can also pass it down to their patients. Our revenue model includes annual subscriptions for businesses, as well as individual downloadable apps. If you would like your financial portfolio to not only return monetary dividends, but also positive karma, let's connect. If you would like your financial portfolio to improve the health and wellness of people around the world, let's connect. If you believe that a change in the health and happiness of each individual can have a profound effect on all of those around them, as our ancient Indian practices show, and modern science confirms, let's connect. I look forward to speaking with investors and partners on how we can build a more healthy and well and happy world together. Thank you. Any questions? Yes. Video, what kind of videos geared toward?
Along with going to actual events as well?
That's a very good question. So we have done classes, program events, and videos. But we feel that although Zumba addresses a problem of physical fitness, it doesn't address the whole person. You know, so you have Zumba instructors, Zumba enthusiasts who are still not feeling well inside, who still have the issues of anxiety. They don't know how happy or healthy they are. They still have issues of toxic stress. So there's no other solution out there that integrates mind, body, and soul. So for us, it's not just about being a Bollywood, dance program or a Latin dance program. That's really not who we are. Our roots started there, but we've always included whole mind, body, holistic wellness. And now we're excited to bring it in a digital platform so that even people who don't want to take, let's say, a Zumba class, but get their fitness from running or biking or walking, can have the benefits of such a program. Does that answer your question? Uh-huh. Hi.
Hi, great. Do you guys have a physical location also, or like physical studio, or you guys are renting out and mainly like in these virtual space?
So Bollyfit in its roots started out by teaching and training instructors all around the world to utilize the Bollyfit methodology and create classes. So we don't rent out studio space. We're not a dance studio. We train and certify instructors around the world to carry out events and classes. However, our digital platform is something that's available to anybody anywhere, and it's not limited to that type of exercise. So you can include any form of exercise around the world.
You mentioned you would be looking forward to investors and partners, but we didn't see any financials. Can you just elaborate a little bit? What do you mean by investors? What exactly are you looking for?
Sure. So, we've demonstrated already that our methodology of using ancient East Indian practices with the modern science has the positive results. We've seen it with thousands of people in our classes, events, and programs over the years, B2B and B2C, and we're continuing that work with medical schools and, programs like I mentioned Mitch Albom's, clinic as examples that we're recently working on. In terms of the digital platform, it's in the concept stage. So I'd love to talk to you in more detail about, what the funding requirements for that would be. Anything else? Thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you for your time. I really look forward to connecting with all of you and building a happier, healthier world together. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christina York, founder and CEO, and I have some of my team here today, and we are spellbound, and we are reimagining patient experience. Hospitalization can be difficult for anybody, but it's especially difficult for children. Treating children in hospital can be challenging and expensive. This is Jack. He had a brain aneurysm, and he has to learn how to reuse his hands and fingers. So he works with occupational and physical therapists. Relearning this can be frustrating and painful, and Jack doesn't want to participate in his therapy. When he doesn't comply, he doesn't reach his rehabilitation milestones on time, and this lengthens his hospital stay. This is Ivy. She's 2.5 years old and has to undergo a sleep study. This means sleeping overnight in the hospital and having a lot of leads attached to her and a cannula put in her nose. When she doesn't comply, the 2 techs that normally take 1 hour to prep her for the study, well, this prep can take longer. This delays the start of her study and other studies, and this can negatively impact the data that is collected, causing it to sometimes be redone. With Spellbound, Ivy was distracted. She was immersed in her book, and the 2 techs were able to complete the sleep study prep in half the time. When therapists that help kids cope with the hospital experience don't have effective tools to use, this is the result. Cost of care goes up because length of stay increases or procedural time increases. There's a higher risk of trauma to the child, and they start having negative associations with their health. And families become dissatisfied. And patient satisfaction scores are important to hospital funding sometimes. We created Spellbound, an augmented reality mobile application that provides tools for pediatric therapists to use with their patients. They use it to distract, engage, and entertain. The idea is holding up a mobile device to the books or cards that we have therapeutic experiences for and seeing them come alive, 3D life. Characters emerge, children can touch and interact either through touches or gestures with the characters, so it can be used to distract someone like Ivy or for Jack's therapy to give him targets to touch to help him with his rehabilitation. This is some of our team. We are augmented reality experts, patient experience advocates, and gamers. So we know how to keep kids entertained, but we also understand the hospital experience. John and I have experience working in hospitals. Brooke has experience working with families in hospitals, and she's also a parent of a child who lived for 10 months in the hospital while her daughter was undergoing cancer treatment. So we understand the patient experience deeply. What we do is sell 2 things, technology and the print materials that go with that trigger that technology. So we have an annual license subscription model for hospitals. It's based on a per bed, per day charge. That unlocks the content. They need the physical triggers to go with that. So it's either books or cards that work with that. We make the cards, but the books we work with authors, pre-existing children's books. And we have a revenue share with them up to $9 per book that we sell to a hospital because of Spellbound. Hospitals already buy large numbers of books. They have giving library programs because paper can't be sterilized. And once children touch them, they get to take them home. This seeds our consumer market, where the books that are given have promo codes for the parents to download the app, seeding it for future in-app purchases. So right now we don't have a lot of content on the platform. We're just going to market. And so if you look at a hospital like, say, Stanford Lucile Packard Children's Hospital, their subscription might initially be around $9,000. But during the course of the year, they'll be buying additional materials, cards and books, either to gift to families to replace the initial ones or for new content that we've created. This multiplier effect can lead to either doubling or up to quintupling the initial value of that customer for us. We are starting with large health organizations and pediatric specialty hospitals that have a centralized therapy department. These practice family-centered care and are actively looking to improve patient satisfaction. Our pilot customer is a top-tier pediatric hospital in the country, CS Mott, and they are using right now across 3 therapy units. We have also established a partnership with the Get Well Network, the #1 provider of patient education and entertainment content in the country, and they'll begin reselling us in Q4. We are the only augmented reality app that is specifically targeted for pediatric therapy in the context of use of a hospital. And this is our vision for 5 years. If you're interested in learning more about our company or talking to us about how you can help us, I'd love to talk with you. We're Spellbound. We are reimagining the patient experience, reducing costs for hospitals and trauma for patients. Thanks.
As it's coming up, I want to say thank you to TiECon because firsts are always special. Firstborn, when you see them first time, when you see your company's logo first time, when you get first customer, and now, as for Zipy Care, we get our first award last night. Thank you so much.
Just get comfortable.
Yeah. So Zipy Care is Internet of Patients, and we are a care coordination platform. Let's wait till the slides come. And we are very proud to be a Michigan-based company, born in Michigan, incubated in Ann Arbor in Michigan. Here we go. So let's start with healthcare problem. So it's 5, 40, and 100. So it's 5% of high utilizers in healthcare that are responsible for 40% of the cost to the healthcare system. Just to imagine in last year's what data we have, Medicare spent $100 billion on medical hospitalizations. Keep in mind, these are not surgical hospitalizations. These are the ones that are preventable. And so what is the underlying problem that's resulting in this 5% population having that expensive expense to the healthcare? Its number one problem is lack of care coordination. When patient leaves the hospital, they do not have a care plan that's well executed. Their medicines are not patients are not taught about how to, which medicines to take and which not to take. And then as they go to the home from the hospital, there is no insightful data that's coming from the patient that can tell what's happening to the patient in between, if their blood pressure is going up or their weight is going up or what's happening. And then third, they don't have, there is lack of access. They cannot access their primary care, they can't access their specialist, and that results in all this. So what Zipy is doing is we are quality-driven, patient-centered, and a cost-effective solution for all these problems. We improve outcomes, and the way we do it is we collect the data, get all those intelligent insights, apply our algorithms, and then create alerts so that medical teams can act in a timely manner. This all results in improved patient satisfactions and improved loyalty, and this also leads to reduced costs. If you apply a solution like Zipy Care, it results in a reduction of 50% of the cost that we mentioned before. Our addressable market, there are 3 million patients that need this kind of monitoring, and we charge $1,000 per year, and that results in $3 billion market. If you expand to then another 15% of the population, that's another 40%, so like 20 and 80, that's total addressable market is $12 billion. And how we are doing it, like what is our, how we are reaching out to the customers, we have focused on specific segments. We are focusing on capitated networks that have fixed money for taking care of fixed number of lives. So if they save money, that's their profit. We are focusing on hospitals who are being penalized for readmissions within 30 days. We are focusing on post-acute care, like nursing homes, who also have to pay penalties if patient gets admitted within 30 days. We are focusing on non-medical home care that connect seniors with the care. And then lastly, insurance companies who work with population health and want to improve the quality as well as care. So what does Zipy offers? It's a FDA registered, HIPAA compliant, and platform. It's platform agnostic. We provide dedicated database to all our users, so they have secure database. We integrate with EMR. They can use thumb printing to access, can do in-app texting. There is multi-party video so that they can bring all the care team members on it. There is screen share. And these are the devices that we connect with. How does it work? You upload data from these devices. These are the actual devices. The care team gets notification if there is an alert that's generated. And then either the doctor or the nurse calls, and then they can either take corrective measure, or our app is the only one that provides solution that you can mobilize using geolocation, the tech in the field, and send them to do testing or auscultate or do physical examination in live. Javad and I are from healthcare. Javad has a management background. I have a company building background. We have the best urgent care in Southeast Michigan, and there's the rest of the team that's executing it. We are in seed funding round. 600,000 convertible note gets us. In 5 years, we are hoping for 2% monitored patients, giving 25x return and 545 enterprise value. If you want to see me afterwards. Christina, if you want to invest, that's a great opportunity. Thank you. Oh.
So, whether it's rental cars or taxis, we've all seen what technology can do to personal mobility or how individuals move around. But how will groups of people move in the sharing economy? What will high-occupancy vehicles, buses, vans, look like in the future of mobility? Hi, I'm Numan from Rally, a crowd-powered travel company that has answered these questions with 500,000 rides reserved. And I'm here today to show you how. You see, it all started with a grassroots rally. We wanted to help people get together, but didn't know where they were coming from or when they wanted to get there. And we certainly weren't going to book buses in hope. So we turned to the wisdom of the crowds and created an app that let people self-organize rides, but required a minimum number to sign up before kick-starting each trip. And it went viral. In a single day, we moved 5,000 ralliers to DC. They came from 50 different cities across 20 states and on 96 buses full of like-minded people. Since then, we applied this concept to events of all kinds. Concerts, football games, NASCAR races. Search for any of them, bus to Lions game, for example, and you'll find us at the top of organic search results. Going to the Tigers game? Check out our pop-up mass transit network around the venue. Each of these pins is a rally point or a potential bus stop. Find one near you or add your own. They're color-coded to represent routes, and they're dynamic to create productive trips. Book a seat and spread the word. Rally confirms trips wherever there's enough demand. On the day of, meet up at the rally point, track the bus on its way over to you, scan yourself in, hop on board. Sit back, enjoy the streaming content, have a drink, and rest assured knowing there's a bathroom on board. You see, we figured out early why people want to rally. Because travel is better together. And communities mobilizing can beat all the challenges of peak travel. Traffic, parking, zero tolerance policies, bad weather, accidents. These are all the challenges that Rally solves here and now. And while communities everywhere are looking for us on their own, we work with premier brands to help us spread the word. They know that if they let their fans know about the more experiential and easier way to get to the event, more people will come. Our latest partnership with Major League Baseball has us integrated directly into the checkout process. So for the 2017 season, every time you buy a game ticket, you'll get the option to rally. And with partners like these and our on-demand platform, we've scaled fast. Riders have created 3,000 rally points and are adding more every day. Here's an example of a group that was rallying. They wanted to go to a camping trip and used our platform to do so. Without any promotion from us, they sold $60,000 worth of bus seats in 60 minutes. How would they have done this on their own? Who would have organized the buses and coordinated the communication? Rally's technology moved 700 people more efficiently than has ever been done before. And we're applying our crowd-powered algorithms to commuting as well. Next year, we'll do 200,000 passenger trips in and out of Manhattan alone. And we're working with cities like Tuscaloosa and Milwaukee to define the future of mass transit through public-private partnerships. So we've talked about all different demand side and how customers use buses, but what about the supply? You know Greyhound, the biggest private bus company out there, they only own 3% of the inventory? Just 3%. There's actually 4,000 bus companies out there, mom and pop shops, that collectively do 700 million passenger trips a year. And there's tens of thousands of events happening every day. Rally matches this supply and demand to create a network effect around buses and communities. 94% of these bus companies own fewer than 25 buses each, and they're sitting around idle half the time. If this is sounding familiar, yeah, this is what the black car industry used to look like. And just like them, this is a multi-billion-dollar sector. Rally has unified this industry to create the first international brand in busing. Rally covers all the different use cases of buses. Book a seat for a trip to events, sports, music, lifestyle, events of all kinds. Create a trip for any group travel situation, or use our commuting services that optimize recurring services and make them more dynamic and on demand. Even before the term was coined, buses were an inherent part of the sharing economy. And they're an integral part of the future of mobility. No, the bus companies are actually our vendors. We sell seats, we create trips that wouldn't have happened before. We're aggregating individuals into productive trips. So they love what we're doing, but they're actually a vendor. And so when we reach that threshold, we've broken even, we've got enough to pay the bus company, and from there, each additional seat we sell is profit. So somewhat like the airline yield model, in that we're more profitable the more full the bus is. Greyhound's really good in that they're at 90% utilization, right? They're doing Detroit to Cincinnati every day. But what we do is utilize the fleets of those 4,000 little companies that are at 50% utilization. Mm-hmm. No, the bus companies are actually our vendors. We sell seats, we create trips that wouldn't have happened before. We're aggregating individuals into productive trips. So they love what we're doing, but they're actually a vendor. And so when we reach that threshold, we've broken even, we've got enough to pay the bus company, and from there, each additional seat we sell is profit. So somewhat like the airline yield model, in that we're more profitable the more full the bus is. Greyhound's really good in that they're at 90% utilization, right? They're doing Detroit to Cincinnati every day. But what we do is utilize the fleets of those 4,000 little companies that are at 50% utilization. Mm-hmm.